We call it Nordic leadership, and Nordic is not an adjective. I think there are really too many adjectives for leadership. To be sustainable leadership, or to be an authentic leader, or to be a responsible leader. You know, what I don't like about those adjectives, you cannot be against it. So it's always true. Leadership for myself, but for my individual, my personal view on it is. Leadership is making the difference, and I think you don't need anything of leadership if everything is going on. So making the difference is making, in companies more value or more innovation, or to change something. Because I think many questions in many companies are all about change. So which means you need your leadership skills to bring people to the next stage, or to lead them to the future. The problem of many managers is that they just do and act, and they forget to have questions, to ask questions. In some cases even they forget to think, because it takes time. We all think we have time problems, and that means that we don't focus on doing maybe physically nothing, but thinking what is the best solution, or what could be really a solution, not only to fight all kinds of symptoms, because that's really a big problem. Which means that listening is quite important, because then you know more, but also listening to people. If you really try to inspire and to motivate people, that means that you have really a sort of true interest in people, to know who they are and why they act as they do. And that means also that you don't have, you need to know more of people, just how they do their work. Which means if you have really a true interest in people, then you are more close to your people, and then it will be more, an easier way of going, more fluid, but more organic to motivate people, and not like big inspiration, a big ego, and but it should be like, because we are humans, but we are in the business, you are family. I think leadership is, the most difficult thing in our business is how to define leadership. And I see myself, more as a manager and you need leadership competences. So I see leadership more as a set of competences, and so a good manager has leadership competences. Leadership competences who have impact on other people, and leadership competences that fit to yourself, because you should be authentic or yourself. And I think it's quite a challenge for many people to find out and to discover their own competences in leadership. And but leading a university or leading a company is more, you have to manage. I think real leaders in a way of sustainable leadership, for more sustainable developments, are not leaders, they are managing by power. It's more that people just want to follow them because they have trust and they believe in the future which is guiding by those leaders. I think that's the most important, and that's, you see it, of course, if you talk with people. If you like to learn to listen to people, and, oh, that's interesting, and I want to be there. That's leadership. For me, if someone tells me what to do, that has nothing to do with leadership. It's an instruction. It's different. And what we mean by Nordic leadership is more to do with the mentality, and it's more or less, it contains a lot of things. It's difficult to define, but I think it's more a combination of many things who make it, how to say, Nordic. It's for example, not only focus on non-ego leadership. I think the time is over for ego leadership. That's the time a few decades ago. And but also leadership is more about managing on talents of people, and to let people discover really the talents, and that humans are the value of a company, and that people are not an asset. I think that's a really also a little thing how to define it, but there's really a big difference if you make people a value of your company or an asset. There's a big difference. And now we are moving into value, and that's also an element of this Nordic leadership, but maybe also maybe you don't read it that many times, but I think many leaders, or let's say many managers, we talked about it before, but it's like they jump really very fast to all kind of solutions. So they are experts in finding solutions in a split second. And I think the Nordic way of doing is, okay, let's try to avoid to jump too fast to conclusions. Let's think about something, what's the core problem? What's really, so the productivity of this way of thinking, the impact of the thinking to concentrate on what's really happening, that's much better. And we think we don't have time to do that, but we are really spoiling our time. We are losing our time just by solving quick fixed problems and to have really quick fixed solutions. I think that's a really big problem for many companies and many people. And you see it in some companies, and also there was a nice article, for example, in Sweden, that they want to have a workload of a day for 8 to 6 days. Which doesn't mean that I like to have a workload of 6 hours, but what's in this research is that people do exactly the same in 6 hours and in 8 hours. This is how to do it. So it's more about thinking and then doing, but it's also thinking and doing, that sounds a little bit too easy, but it has really to do with mentality, stop to find in a split second the best solution, because it will never be the best solution. It's found out that the workload of some of those countries are significantly lower than many other Western European countries, but the productivity is significantly higher, which means that the total impact of employment is bigger in those countries. And we know it, those countries are rich, people are a little bit more happy. So in general, those companies are really performing very good. Not by working extremely hard or to have stress or whatever, but by working smart. It's like we are always proud to be busy. Why should we be busy? You should be effective, productive. That's the most important. I think it's more a mentality, and it's not, of course, I'm not a specialist in culture, but I think it's not really exclusive for specific cultures. I think what I experience here in Lithuania is that many people are really behaving or open for this kind of Nordic leadership. They do it. But it's the same experience I have in the Netherlands. The managers, they are proud to be busy, and managers, they're proud to be productive. Leadership sharing is important. That has to do with many things, to share what you like, maybe also to share some about your emotions, because you're not a robot. Managers, they have also many discussions or meetings with colleagues, very tough meetings. And maybe to tell people, you know, you're not performing, it's very bad what you're doing. So, but how to do that in a positive way. But I think although even those negative meetings with bad news sometimes are even a little bit more positive and have a better results if you do it in an open way. And that's also sharing, I think. I think we should be very happy that the future is uncertain, because if the future is certain, then it's a boring life, I think. So it's nice to have surprises. And it's also nice that we don't know many things. But management systems are based on control and predicting something. Is this your only system? Is this the way you think? Then you feel safe if you can predict everything. Because then you are managing along this plan. But if you are working in an industry with more, less predictable, let me call it less predictable, or maybe not predictable, you shouldn't apply a system based on predictions if you are in a business without any prediction. It's a really stupid idea. But people think there's only one system about predictions, about forecasting. I call it mostly the world of milestones. And I prefer, in the way in business where you see a lot of changes, the attitude of milestones. stepping stones, sorry. Milestones that you know before what's happening, stepping stones is you need to take the next step. Okay, you learn, you look around, and let's make the next step. So you have a direction, of course. Of course you have a direction, it's not by doing anything new or whatever, but you have a direction. But you think about it step by step. So this path is a learning path. And stepping and milestones is a path of success or fail. And if you are in this path of success or fail, you will never explore something that you know before. Never. It's impossible.